Hey everyone, welcome back to the virtual classroom. On this video, I am simply just showing you the different kind of quizzes, how I would use them, when I would use them, and why there's one I wouldn't use. So here we go, let's dive right on in. So the first one I want to talk about that I would not use is Cahoots. And you're thinking, but that's what I use all the time in my normal classroom. Yes, and it's great, but think about your normal classroom for a second. Your normal classroom, you have a board where you probably project the question onto the board and then they use their tablets or computers and to log in, and all they see is those icons, right? Red, blue, whatever. They don't actually see the question on their screen, right? They see it on your board. In a virtual world, many times the only device that your students are working on is the one they're working on. They don't have access to the computer and a phone at the same time. If they did, that would be great. They could just log into your Zoom account and your Zoom meeting and then have their phone or their tablet as the other device where they log into that, but they don't a lot of times. So keep that in mind. What I would use during your live sessions is quizzes. Quizzes is student-centered. So when they log into the site or the quiz, they see the question and they see the answers. They see all of it. Very student-centered. I love that. What I also love, and I'm not sure if Cahoots does this now, they didn't whenever back then, and I realize this is not virtual friendly, but they also in quizzes, you can assign things with like homework. So you can make a quiz. So if you have students who can't log in, they could still take this quiz, right? So even if you're not doing Zoom meetings, if you want them to read a passage and then answer a question, this is what you could use. So you could have the question on one slide, either on a Google slide if you're using like Google Classroom or Desmos. Check out this to see how to use Desmos. It's very underrated, and I don't know why most other teachers are not using it. It's one of my favorite resources, both during live sessions and not live sessions. I think it's amazing, so you should definitely watch the video to see how to use it. Also, you can put the direct link into Desmos or on your slides, wherever you want, and they can take it during their time. So, and then it grades it, and you get to look at the data once you get it. Once it closes or whenever you want to look at it. So really, I love quizzes. It works just like Cahoots, but it's just more virtual classroom friendly. The other one that I use a lot now is Go Formative. When you go to Go Formative, this is not what you first see. So you'll start creating your assessment, your formative assessment. But I'm going to jump to the end of what you do see. So when you get to the end result after your students take their assessment, this is what you'll see. I hid their names to keep this FERPA friendly, but you see it all. And in a virtual classroom, we want to see the data just like you do. And a lot of times we are able to analyze it quicker because we're using things like this. So we're not using paper and pencil where we have to grade it ourselves. We're not doing worksheets where we have to grade it ourselves. We're using things like this, and you should be all the time. So you can put whatever you want on here. In another video, tagged up there, so you should check that out. It shows you how to change any kind of resource you have into a digital one that you can make so students will manipulate it. Meaning that you're probably thinking, but I like worksheets because I get to see their work. We do too. So this actually lets you see their work. There is an option. I'll go down to the very bottom where you can add more. And again, I won't show you how because there's a video for that tagged up there on how to do that. But there's a show your work option where you can upload a worksheet and they have to work it out. It won't grade it, I think, automatically like you want it to. I think you can, but you gotta be real precise. But you can make this for a immediate grade or a participation, whatever, and you can see their work. Or you can give them real grades. This part's just gonna take you that grading part unless you get real specific. So, which you can. Anyway, that's an option. Go Formative has all these for free. This is always and forever will be free. If you want to, you can purchase it, and Go Formative might be actually giving out some, like extending the free trial for school closures. That's something to look into. But you could do it for the first 30 days. Definitely not long enough for your end of the year from a lot of us, but you could start with that for sure. Especially for your older grades where graphing is that. But go Desmos, which again, like I said, is one of the most underrated tools out there. It does have graphing on there. It's actually designed for math, but I use it a lot for reading. So anyway, tagged up there, watch that video on how to use Desmos for live lessons and just like as homework. It has lots of options on there that are not just formative assessments. It can do a lot of different things. So anyway, I would use this. So I've been asked like, how would I do a spelling test? I would definitely use like Go Formative during a live session. I would give them this this link, and then I would put like question 1 or word number 1, and then I would just make sure that it's not. I would make sure to tell them, make sure you don't capitalize it unless it's supposed to be capitalized. And then make sure there's no spaces as well. But you could put in like the different options in case they still make those mistakes and it'll still count it right or wrong. So just something to consider. So I think that's it for Go Formative. When you're ready to assign it, you just go to assign, guest students, view, update it, but it won't have all this actually. So this one's just already been used. It'll actually show you something like this. And you just get the link, grab the link, and put it wherever you're putting your students' assignments, whether that be on like a Google website or Google Classroom or Class Dojo, whatever you're using to communicate to your kids what they need to do, you can just grab that link and embed it. The last resource I want to show you is a Google Form assessment. What I like about Google Forms is that they have a lot of built-in templates that you just got to change things up. So you're not reinventing the entire wheel, which you sometimes feel with a Go Formative. However, what I don't like about Google Forms is that when you want to change the correct answer, you have to like, you got to go to like answer key, whereas in Go Formative, you just click on it. You just click whatever answer you think is the correct one, and it does it automatically. You don't have to like change it up. This just gets confusing to me. I don't know why it's built like this, but it's built like this, so it is. Something to consider though with your assessments on Go Formative, with Google Forms, is to make sure you have a place for them to put their name. And Go Formative and quizzes, it does it automatically. Also, you might keep in mind with the email thing, your kids may or may not be schooling alone. They may or may not have an email. So you might take that option off and just put your name, put first and last name, whatever. So that way it can be easy for those kids who might be, unfortunately, schooling alone, which does happen. You can, though, put the email. Keep in mind that one of the settings is if you only want them to do it once, then they have to put an email in. However, you can just delete any, when you go and look at the responses, you can just delete any of the ones that came after. And just be like, I'm going to take the first one. Like, if they ask questions, they're like, wait, I got a 80. And you're like, yes, when you took it the third time. So, just might make that known. So taking the first submission. So make sure you do it right. But there are different kinds of options, different kinds of questions you can do. They can almost write an essay, multiple choice, drop down, file upload. If you have them, I don't use this very often because there's other resources out there. But if you're not wanting to use Go Formative for whatever reason and upload that as an image, you could say, hey, you need to do this worksheet, take a picture of it and upload it here. But this will take up your drive space. So there's lots of different things you can do with this, but as I've said, Go Formative does those things, and that's why I'm pushing Go Formative, because it's really user friendly for the teacher and for the student. So whereas this kind of gets a little confusing. And I think that's it. So I'm planning on I can make more videos on how to make those, but I'm hoping this at least gets you started. Again, this isn't really about how to create the account and how to use it. It's more about, hey, these are the resources I would be using and why I would be using them. So definitely Go Formative is my favorite. But if you're doing something fun during a live session, I would use quizzes. And then Go Formative as kind of like a test, if you will. And then Google Forms could be used as either. It's just not as fun as like quizzes is if you're doing a live class. But if you're doing something like an escape room, Google Forms is great for that. So all things to consider. But I hope this helps with your virtual classroom and taking any kind of formative assessment. And I hope that you have fun with it, and so do your kids. Bye.